Good morning, friends. Welcome to our another lecture of an important aspect of cryptogams, that is general characters of bryophytes. I am Dr. PRAKASH JADHAVAR, Department of Botany, Gandhi College, Kada. You all welcome to bryophytes, that is general characters of bryophytes and its importance, that is importance of bryophytes. The term bryophyta or bryophytes originates from the word, that is Greek word, that word is bryon, meaning mosses, and phyton meaning plants. That is, bryon means moss and phyton means plants. The plants which are mosses-like in structure are called as bryophytes, or the group is called as bryophyta. Bryophyta includes embryophytes like the mosses, hornworts and liverworts. These are small plants that grows in shady and damp areas. These plants lacks their vascular tissues. These plants do not produce flowers and seeds. Instead, they reproduce through their spores. Means these bryophytic plants are lacks of flowers and seeds. It means there is also no proper stem, leaves, branches and other general parts of plant body. The study of bryophytes is called as bryology. Bryophytes are also called as the amphibians of plant kingdom because they are terrestrial plants but require water to complete their life cycle at the time of their sexual reproduction. These plants occur, as I told earlier, these plants occur in damp and shaded areas. The plant body is thallus-like, that is prostrate and erect plant body, means there is no real stem or no real roots or no real just like leaves and other parts of plant body. It is attached to the substratum by means of rhizoids, which are unicellular or multicellular. There are two types of rhizoids in bryophytes. They may be unicellular or may be multicellular. They lack true vegetative structures, that is flowers and seeds, etc. They lack true vegetative structures and have a root-like, stem-like and leaf-like structures. These plants lack the vascular system as like other plant parts or other plants like xylem and phloem. Bryophytes shows alteration of generation in their life cycles between independent gametophyte with sex organs which produces sperms and eggs and dependent sporophyte which contains the spores. In bryophytes, the dominant part of plant body is generally or always gametophyte, which is a haploid plant body. The thalloid gametophyte of bryophyte is differentiated into the rhizoids, axis and leaves. The gametophyte of bryophytes, or suppose example of we take an example of Markensia or Sporella. Gametophyte bears multicellular sex organs and is photosynthetic body. That the functions of photosynthesis is done by their thallus or thalloid plant body. The antheridium produces antherozoids which are biflagellated. In bryophytes, the antheridiums which produces antherozoids. These antherozoids are biflagellated. The shape of archegonium is a flask-like, and archegonium produces eggs. It produces one egg. The antherozoid fuse with egg to form a zygote, and zygote develops into the multicellular sporophyte of bryophyte. The sporophyte is semi-parasitic and dependent on the gametophyte for their nutrition, for their food material. Cells of sporophyte undergoes the process of meiosis to form haploid gametes, which forms the complete gametophyte. The geonine gametophyte is known as Protonema. The sporophyte is differentiated into the three main parts, that is foot, seta and capsule. While considering or understanding the classification of bryophytes, bryophytes have these three classes, three important or main classes. These are Hepaticopsida, Anthracopsida and Bryopsida. Hepaticopsida have 4 orders, Anthracopsida have 1 order and Bryopsida have another 5 orders. Hepaticopsida order contains, Hepaticopsida have 4 orders which are Catrobiales, Jungermannials, Marchantials and Sperocarpels, whereas Anthracopsida have order Anthroceropti. According to the latest classification of bryophytes, bryophytes are divided into mainly 3 classes, that is Hepaticopsida, which is liverworts, Anthracopsida, that is hornworts, and Bryopsida, it is generally called as mosses class or moss class. While going to deep in Hepaticopsida or liverworts, the name of Hepaticopsida comes from the word hepatic, means the liver. Liverworts come under, all liverworts comes under this class. Hepaticopsida further divided into 4 orders, that is Marchantials, one order is Marchantial, another is Sperocarpels, example Sperocarpus, Marchantials, example Rixia and Marchantia. Third is Calobrials, example Calobrium, and fourth is Jungermannials, example Pelea. While studying the general characters of Hepaticopsida, these plants are gametophytic plant, that is either thalloid or foliose. In foliose forms of bryophytes, Hepaticopsida in bryophytes, leaves are without midrib and dorsiventral. Always foliose lichens contains leaves, these are without midribs and these are dorsiventral. Thalloid is also dorsiventral, it is also lobed and dichotomously branched. Each cell of thallus contains many chloroplasts without paranoids. Just like in algae, there are very much amount of paranoids in there in specific algae. Not like that here. Chloroplasts are without paranoids and rhizoids are unicellular, branched and aseptate. The sex organs of this class are borne dorsally and embedded in gametophytic tissues. The sporophytes is made up of only of capsule, for example in Rixia, or foot, seta and capsule, example Marchantia. The columella is absent in these capsules and sporogenous tissues develop from the endothecium. In reproduction of bryophytes, there are 2-3 types of reproduction, that is asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction, vegetative reproduction by spores. These are the types of reproduction in bryophytes. In asexual reproduction, the asexual reproduction takes place by the fragmentation or by the formation of gymma or gymma cup. Gymmi or gymma are produced inside the gymma cups. Gymmi, these are asexual buds. These are green in color and are multicellular. The gymma cup develops into new plant after detaching from the parent plant, and antheridium, that is male organ, and archegonium, that is female organ, may be present in the same thalli or different thalli of single plant body. They produce, that is antheridium and archegonium will produce sperms and eggs respectively. After their fertilization, there is formation of zygote. Zygote is formed after their fertilization. Zygote develops into diploid sporophyte and few cells of sporophytes undergoes meiosis to form haploid spores. These spores were developed into haploid gametophytes, which are free living and photosynthetic in nature. There are around 300 species of Anthracopsida present in this class. They are commonly known as hornworms. It has only one order, that is, Anthracopsida has only one order, that is Anthocerotales. Example, Anthoceros, Megaceros and Nototalis. The main features are the gametophytic body is flat. In this hornworms, the body of gametophyte is flat. It is dorsiventral, simple and thalloid one, without the internal differentiation. In hornworms, there is no internal differentiation, and the rhizoids of hornworms are very smooth walled. Each cell of one chloroplast. Each cell has one chloroplast with a pyrenoid. That is, the chloroplast contains pyrenoids in this class. Sex organs are dorsally embedded in the thallus. There is sporophyte and it is differentiated into foot, meristematic zone and capsule. Sporogenous tissues develop from their epithecium. There are pseudoelasters are also present in the capsule. The whole capsule contains pseudoelasters in their internal. The columella is also present in the capsule, which originates from the endothecium, that is columella. While studying the reproduction in Anthracopsida, there is asexual type of reproduction is also method is there, that is vegetative propagation. In the vegetative propagation is by fragmentation of thallus and by the tubers. These thallus and tubers are formed under unfavorable conditions, means asexual reproduction or vegetative reproduction by fragmentation takes place only under unfavorable conditions. If there is not unfavorable conditions, like there is no water or no other suitable conditions for reproduction, the reproduction takes place by tubers and thallus. In sexual reproduction, the Anthoceropsida produces sexually by water-borne sperms, which travels from Anthridium to the Archegonium. In this, fertilized egg develop into the whole sporophyte. Sporophyte splits in the lengthwise to release the spores, which develops into the new gametophyte. In Bryopsida or mosses, there are plant or this is differentiated into two main parts, that is sporophyte and gametophyte. Sporophyte consists of capsule, seta, whereas gametophyte consists of main axis and rhizoids. In this class or mosses, in this class, it is largest class of bryophyte with around 1,040 species are there. They are commonly called as mosses, like Funaria, Polytrichum and Sphagnum. Bryopsida further divides into the 5 orders. Bryopsida has another 5 orders that are bryals. Number 1 is bryals, second andrails, third one is spagnals, fourth is polytrichals and buxamuels, that is fifth. The main features of this class are the gametophyte is differentiated into protonema and foliose gametophore. Foliose is made up of stem as an axis and leaves without midrib. In this, rhizoids are multicellular with the oblique septa and sex organs are born apically on the stem and elasters are absent in this. The sporophyte is, as told earlier, here also sporophyte is differentiated into foot, seta and capsule. The sporogenous tissues develop from the endothecium. The tissue which is sporogenous, it is developed from the endothecius, and columella is present here. Dehiscence takes place by the separation of the lead. In Bryopsida, asexual reproduction is by budding. Here earlier it was by fragmentation. In Bryopsida, it is by budding, and also fragmentation, that is the fragmentation is secondary type of, or it is secondary protonema, and sexual reproduction is by antheridia and by archegonia. These antheridia and archegonia are present at the apical part of leafy shoots. While after fertilization, sporophyte is produced, which is more differentiated than liverworts in here, and the gametophyte develops from the spores. Bryophytes consist of around 20,000 plant species, and these are broadly categorized into liverworts, mosses, hornworts, and some others. Common examples are examples of liverworts are Markensia, Rixia, Pelea, Porella, Calobrium, Sparocarpus. These are the liverworts. While mosses consist Finaria, Polytrichum, Sphagnum, and hornworts are comprises of Anthoceras, Nototiles, and Megaceras. So, thank you friends.